All right, time for me to get back to the winning ways. Just as I'd gotten over 500 with my picks last week against the spread, all lines, of course, provided by our friends at FanDuel, I took a big step back. 1-5. Thank you, San Diego State, for saving me from embarrassment. But yikes, last week was a yikes. Let's start with the first game that I've got on the board. Syracuse traveling to Notre Dame. A ton of points. A ton of points for Notre Dame to cover here. And I think the Irish are plenty explosive to win this game comfortably. I'm just picking the number here because according to our friends at FanDuel, this is a 35.5 point spread. Is that warranted? In many ways, yes. Syracuse has lost 6 in a row. It's not going well for Fran Brown and company. The Irish have every single reason to keep their foot on the gas because they're pushing for a playoff spot. They can't afford to lose, and they don't want to get into resume debates. So playing a close game against a bad Syracuse team would be really, really bad. Now, Notre Dame is going to win this game by a lot, by more than 20, maybe even more than 30. I think that's really feasible for the Irish here. I don't think this line is totally absurd. And I won't even be shocked if I'm picking the wrong side. I just think it's a ton of points. In Syracuse's 6-game losing streak, they have not lost by over 35 points. Duke got them bad 38-3 a while back, but their offense has found a way to put up at least one touchdown a game. So if they can do that against Notre Dame, just one touchdown, you score 7 and 10 points. You're talking about being able to allow somewhere in the neighborhood of 42 to 45 points. Syracuse has only allowed 2 schools to hit the 40-point threshold this year. Georgia Tech a few weeks ago and Tennessee early in the season. I like Notre Dame's offense a lot. I think the Irish are going to win. I don't think it's going to be close. 35.5, just a little bit too big of a number. 42-10. 42-10, Notre Dame rolls, but Syracuse gets the cover. 35.5 points, the second biggest spread I have put into the best bets this year. The other one, it didn't work out. I was on the favorite side of 41.5, Penn State against FIU. It didn't go well. Little did I know how the season would unfold for the Nittany Lions. So that's the first game. I've got 3 underdogs and 3 favorites this week. Second underdog, this one's out of principle, goes against a team I have railed against for a really long time here on the show, and that's North Carolina. They are at home in a rivalry game against Duke, getting 6.5. I think Duke is pretty defeated after their loss to Virginia last week, in which they played poorly on both sides of the ball. They are now done for the ACC championship game. They had a backdoor way to get into the playoff. That's all done. Duke is not bad. Duke is not as good as they should be, particularly on defense. The North Carolina offense has not been very good, but has shown some signs of life in the second half of the year. The rule that I have, unless I'm given compelling evidence, and then it's usually stay away if I feel this way, take the points in a rivalry game. North Carolina getting 6.5. I'll take Duke to bounce back and squeak it out, but I think it's 27-23. North Carolina covers the 6.5. My super dog, well, it's not a super dog. It's too small of an upset to be that. But the underdog who I think gets an outright win this week is UTSA. They are at home against East Carolina in an American Conference battle. Sneaky backdoor playoff implications here. Not that East Carolina would be able to get in. They can't. But the Pirates are a one-loss team and could find their way to the American Championship game if tiebreakers were to work in their favor if they stay at one loss. So UTSA's not getting there. That's disappointing for the Roadrunners. Meet. But UTSA can knock them out of that fold. If you're a North Texas fan, if you're a Tulane fan, you would like East Carolina to lose. More North Texas. Tulane's in control of their own destiny there to make the American because of the tiebreaker. If there's no head-to-head, which there isn't with North Texas or Navy, then you take the team that's highest ranked in the college football playoff, and that's, of course, Tulane because they're the only G5 that is ranked. UTSA under Jeff Traylor getting 2.5 points at home. They beat Tulane on their home field earlier this year. That helped extend their winning streak. They are 24-0 under Jeff Traylor in American Conference home games. I'll take that trend to continue. Plenty of points in this one. UTSA 34, East Carolina 30. A lot of points in this game. Both teams can really throw the football, but Jeff Traylor at home gets it done. And in the second half of what's been a disappointing year, his team, I think, is starting to surge. I think they keep that home conference winning streak unblemished. They go to 25-0 against the Pirates. Speaking of good teams to bet on at home, Utah is laying a big number this week, and it's 17.5 against Kansas State. Here's why I take the Utes. Even though that half-point hook at 17 scares me a little, Utah has only had 2 outcomes in Big 12 games this year. They have either lost or they have absolutely, positively dominated teams into oblivion. Utah is still in contention for the college football playoff. Are they in control of their own fate? No. Can they get enough help to get in? I believe the answer to that question is yes. They have dominated teams over and over again. It is one of the key factors that's keeping them in the discussion, is they are winning big unless they are losing. There has been no in between in a Big 12 conference game. So against a Kansas State team that, look, has maybe figured a couple things out, but overall has also had a supremely disappointing year, Utah at home, 38-17. They take care of Kansas State and roll, lay the 17.5. Here's one that I am so scared of, but I'm taking anyway. Georgia Tech minus 2.5 against Pitt. Discussed this game earlier on the show. Told you I like Georgia Tech to win. Putting in my best bets because Georgia Tech at home on senior day with Haynes King, man, guy's a warrior. If Georgia Tech goes to the playoff, Haynes King should go to New York as a Heisman Trophy finalist because he is putting up insane yardage stats every single week. I'm not talking 300 to 300. I'm talking he's having 400 to 500 yard individual games of total offense, and Georgia Tech just can't get a lot of traction. Now, their opportunity to get into the playoff is by either winning the ACC, which they have to win this game at home against Pitt in order to have that opportunity. And in all likelihood, I don't think there's a tiebreaker where they'd get kept out if they win this because Pitt's a one-loss team and Georgia Tech's next game is Georgia. So this is their final conference game. Maybe they get caught in a look-ahead spot. They could still make the playoff at 10-2 if they beat Georgia next week. But I think that Brent Key and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets against a Pitt team that is fine, but nothing special. Like they're a respectable, solid team. Mason Heinschel playing good ball. The win was taken out of their sails last week against Notre Dame. Now they have to go on the road. Georgia Tech is a team on a mission with a chip on their shoulder because of where they are ranked. I think they roll Pitt at home. I'll take Georgia Tech 34-17. They knock off the Pitt Panthers there. Finally, this one also worries me, but you know what? I'm taking Illinois, who I went against last week. Minus 8.5 at Wisconsin. The Badgers' offense, abysmal. The Illinois defense wasn't good enough to get them to the college football playoff this year, but took a step forward last week. I know it was against Maryland, but guess what? Maryland's offense, pretty similar, maybe even better, certainly from a quarterback standpoint, than what you have for the Badgers. So I don't think Wisconsin's getting to double digits. I think they will put up 6, maybe 9 points in this game. I'll give them 9. Luke Altmaier and the Illini playing out his final season of college football. I think they can get to at least 20. So I'll take the Illini to win 24-9, swallow the 8.5 even on the road. So that's Illinois minus 8.5, Georgia Tech minus 2.5, Utah minus 17.5, UTSA plus 2.5, Syracuse plus 35.5, and North Carolina plus 6.5 against Duke. Best bets of the week. Got to be over 500 going into rivalry week. Just has to happen. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.